Argob, Krasli's largest moon, was a wasteland of jagged rock and powdery gray dust, its sparse vegetation clawing at survival under a thin, unforgiving atmosphere. Cosmic radiation scoured its surface, a relentless reminder that this barren world was never meant to sustain life. For the 100 Kras scientists stranded there during the Great War, Argob was both prison and crucible. When war engulfed Krasli, the scientists watched in horror as their homeworld burned. Radio signals fell silent, supply ships vanished, and the vibrant planet they loved was swallowed by ash and ruin. Isolated on a moon designed as a research outpost, not a colony, they faced a grim truth: survival was a fleeting hope, and Argob offered little mercy. The early years were a battle against despair. The scientists, brilliant but unprepared, scavenged meager resources, wary plants that clung to rocky crevices and skittering, insect-like creatures too small to sustain them. Starvation loomed, and the moon's radiation gnawed at their bodies, a constant threat to their fragile existence. Amid Argob's dangers lurked the Limp, the moon's apex predator. Sleek and cat-like, its pale, glistening skin merged with the rocky terrain, rendering it nearly invisible. Its long, whip-thin tail bristled with venomous spines, delivering a paralytic toxin that felled prey in seconds. The scientists feared the Limp, its glowing eyes haunting their nightmares. Desperation, however, sparked ingenuity. The scientists began to trap and study the Limp, risking their lives to unravel its secrets. Their breakthrough came with a discovery: the Limp's blood held compounds that neutralized Argob's radiation. By synthesizing this blood into a serum and combining it with their dwindling anti-radiation drugs, they crafted a lifeline, a treatment that shielded them from the moon's deadly rays. Over generations, the serum reshaped their bodies. Their light blue fur and flowing dark blue hair vanished, replaced by smooth, pale skin suited to Argob's dim light. Their faces elongated, their large black eyes growing wider to pierce the moon's perpetual twilight. The Kras scientists became Argobians, a new race forged by necessity and the Limp's strange alchemy. The predator they once dreaded became their savior, its blood a sacred cornerstone of their survival. Survival demanded more than science, it required purpose. The isolation of Argob eroded the scientists' spirits, their dreams of Krasli's glory reduced to memories. Without hope, they risked succumbing to despair. Into this void stepped Borso, a charismatic scientist turned leader. With a voice that could stir hearts and a mind sharp enough to wield myth as a weapon, Borso saw that unity required a shared cause. He crafted a story to bind the Argobians: the betrayal. Borso claimed the Kras had not been lost to war but had deliberately forsaken their kin. Driven by greed, the Krasans had severed ties with Argob, abandoning the scientists to die. This tale, though woven from half-truths, ignited a fire in the Argobians. It gave their suffering meaning, transforming their exile into a narrative of injustice and resilience. The myth took root. Children learned it as truth, their songs mourned the Kras treachery, and Borso enshrined it in Argob culture. He oversaw the construction of the Dark Pyramid, a towering obsidian structure etched with scenes of their abandonment. This monument became the heart of Argob's identity, a symbol of their pain and defiance. Over centuries, the Argobians ceased to be Kras exiles, they were Argobians, a people united by a wound that refused to heal. For millennia, the Argobians teetered on the edge of extinction. Their early years saw technology falter, their advanced tools lost to time and scarcity. Yet their hatred for the Kras fueled their resolve. Slowly, they rediscovered their scientific heritage, adapting it to Argob's harsh realities. They built sealed habitats to shield against radiation, harnessed geothermal energy from the moon's core, and engineered crops to thrive in barren soil. Their bodies continued to evolve. The Limp serum, now a ritual of birth, ensured each generation was stronger, better suited to Argob's demands. Their pale, elongated forms and wide, unblinking eyes became badges of their transformation, a stark contrast to the Kras they despised. By the time of the story, after 10,000 years, the Argobians had forged a civilization to rival Krasli's ancient glory. Their single city, a labyrinth of domed structures and glowing conduits, housed 1,000,000 souls. They mastered space travel, their sleek ships piercing the void. Yet their gaze turned not to the stars but to Krasley, a world they believed owed them retribution. The Argobians lived in disciplined austerity, their drab, charcoal-hued garments reflecting their utilitarian ethos. Their low birth rate, a consequence of Argob's environment and the limped serum's side effects, made every child a treasure. Families rarely bore more than 2 offspring, and the rituals of birth and death were sacred, marked by solemn ceremonies beneath the dark pyramid's shadow. Their society was bound by order and purpose, driven by the myth of betrayal. Schools taught of Krasley's treachery, engineers designed ships for a reckoning, and leaders spoke of reclaiming their birthright. The Argobians were no longer a stranded few, they were a people poised to rewrite their history, their eyes fixed on a planet they had never known but could never forgive.